Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And just a disclaimer, if you hear my cat zooming around, he is on something right now. So sorry in advance. But this was supposed to be a January setup video. I actually filmed it and I was going to edit it to find that I accidentally deleted the footage. So for the month of January, I'm going to approach it a little bit different and walk you through kind of what I did. This may help maybe people stumbling on budgeting content, planner content, and like maybe their new goal is to start budgeting this year, paying off debt. Maybe they can use this kind of as guardrails or something to help spark some ideas or something. But I did use the cash budgeting system to pay off over $37,000 of debt, and I paid it off in July. I have since taken on a car loan, but that is a story for another day. But this system greatly helps. But this is my happy planner in a classic size. It was a 2025 to 2026. It started in July and ends in June. But I have a half year in here so far, and then I'll probably just repurpose the pages. But the first thing that I do, or did rather, is I take this master sheet, which I created for myself, which is amazing. That Happy Planner is an ARC system because you can add anything to your planner if you make the sheets the correct size. So what I first do is I take my master sheet and I look at my month at a glance. And this is where, let's see if I can get this all in frame here. So for the most part, and this is where I plan everything out. So I use my Happy Planner stickers and I just kind of go down the line and write down all of the bills. Now this first one is different, and that's because we just started this with them recently and they messed up on billing. So they gave us a deep discount, and I split this with my fiance. Some of these bills are split with my fiance. So anyways, whatever. I think that's normal for a lot of people. So I put down stickers and when things are due, and as I get paid, I like to track that on the payday. But so I use this here to fill out all of this. And so this master sheet of mine is showing the breakdown of what I get paid. Some things range on the day that the bill comes, so I give myself a date range. And then I track biannual things like car insurance. And then I track my annual expenses here as well, so I can keep those on my radar when it comes to planning. So that's the first thing that I do. So I did that. Also, I wanted in 2026 to start breaking down my goals monthly instead of trying to get all of these things in a year. And I figure maybe if I try to break down some of my goals down monthly, that I'd be able to keep up on it. So what I did was I went to this page of my planner. I don't even know what this is called. Is this called like a dashboard? I don't know. When you first open up the page, it kind of has this overview of priorities, important things, and take note. So I just put my goals here in the take note section. So I covered up what my number was, but I have a goal to lose weight. Actually, I should probably pull this out so we can reference it. So I did this video. I can link that for you guys if you haven't seen it, but I put together all of my goals. I have some financial ones, some personal ones, a whole variety of various goals. And some of them you just simply can't break down monthly, like a low buy and a list to avoid. But things like weight goals or money goals, I can try to break that down, which, by the way, super excited. I killed a pen yesterday. I used it to completion, which is a huge deal for me. I'm a huge office supply fanatic. So the fact that I used an entire pen is amazing. And if the editing is choppy, I apologize. I've had this terrible cough. It's just so dry that my throat is irritated. So anyways, this overall master sheet for my 2026 goals was what I utilized to kind of break down my monthly goals. So lose 5 pounds. That's because overall I have a goal to lose 35 to 50 pounds. And since I just started mid-December, it felt reasonable that 5 pounds could be lost in a month. I know, they say like lose a pound a week. And I figured like with the loss of water weight and such, that putting down 5 pounds was reasonable. So then I have here list 5 new items this month, and this goes along with my goal of post more Etsy products once a month. So I wrote this here, and I could write down the 5 things that I post, or this could even go back to Poshmark too. I didn't write that here, but that's also what I mean. I have a Poshmark account, and just the whole putting it online and like taking photos and editing them and doing the description. Like, I hate that side of Poshmark. That's super annoying to me, the admin stuff. So, yeah, it's been a really long time since I posted new stuff, but there's so much stuff I want to purge and declutter. So really, when I was writing this, I had Poshmark in mind, but this could really pertain to either one of them. Like I could even do a hybrid. I could, list 3 items for Poshmark and 2 listings for Etsy, like what have you. So then I have get halfway or further in my book, put $100 towards car debt. And then I have here a spot for extra payments, which I can actually fill that out. So I actually just yesterday, what is today, the 8th? So 1/8, I did a $50 principal payment. So that is already halfway met, and I'm paid bi-weekly. So I have a whole other paycheck in January to meet this goal. So that is that section here. So then I can show you my budget in just a moment. Let's put this sheet back. Let's see, I think I had it here. Yes, I think I had it next to the debt tracker thing. Okay, so then I have my budgeting section, which, hold on a sec. Oh yeah, right here. I'm going to pull the sheet out so you can see this better. And let's look at January with it, the month at a glance, so I can show you how I go about doing this. So what I do is that number I showed you earlier in my planner. Oh, actually, it's right here. What I do is I write down that amount, and then I wrote down renter's insurance because that's considered income in the sense of that's Joe paying me. So we split this bill, and like every other paycheck he pays me, because this is something that is taken out, like is deducted from my paycheck. So I'm constantly paying for it every paycheck. And so every other, like I gather money from him. So the total income is $1,286.37. And this is the first paycheck of January. So it went down because the cost of medical insurances increased. And there's things that come out of it. Like I said, there's the renter's insurance that comes out. There's my medical insurance, which those costs went up. My HSA comes out of that as well, 401k, all those things. So this is after all deductions and taxes and all the things. So what I do is, because I'm such a visual person, I like to, after I've laid out my things for the month, that's when I can say, okay, I'm paid on this day. So what I like to do is write down all of the expenses, the bills that are due in this 2-week pay cycle. So all these things here that you see here are all of the bills that are falling in this 2 weeks. Some people may not be able to do that because some of their bills, like mortgage, may exceed their paycheck. So maybe sometimes, like, just because it doesn't fall in this paycheck, you might put like half of your paycheck toward it. This is actually a great example. My Mazda, so the payment is $503.55. It technically doesn't come up until the next pay cycle, but because I have rent in the next pay cycle, I don't want to be left with like $300 after those two things to try to budget for groceries and other things. So rather than waiting till this next paycheck, I like to just go ahead and take care of it just slightly early. And I like to take care of it in the opposite paycheck, that the opposite one from my rent paycheck, if that makes sense. So anyways, that's what I prioritize first. So then I add up all of the bills that fell in this 2-week pay cycle plus the Mazda, because as I just explained. And so that came to $605.60. And so then what I did was here, let me move this over so you can see it better. It might be slightly out of frame for all I know. So then what I did was I subtracted this amount from my income and got $680.77. And then I did $50 extra towards a car payment. This I left blank because I kind of wanted to see what I had going on over here first to then decide what I could do as an extra car payment. So you can work out of order, but in the end, it ended up being 50 towards that. So then and I leave the change in my account as like a rollover. So essentially it was 680 minus 50. That gave me $630 to put towards any spending, any sinking funds. And these can be things that you need the money for right away, that you need to spend in the next 2 weeks, or this could be savings that you're building up. So I will be doing a cash stuffing video, so stay tuned for that one. What I like to do is I like to budget $140 every 2 weeks for groceries. Takeout, I budgeted $30, which I will proudly say, sorry, my alarm was going off, but I will proudly say that pretty much the entire month of December, I didn't get any food out. The last 2 paychecks. It was only just yesterday that Joe and I got a pizza. This was the first time that I'll be spending money on food. So that's amazing, because I would always spend all of it and sometimes have to dip into groceries and that sort of thing, which I really try not to do that. I really try to use the money in each category. I mean, if it's a spending category, I'm more okay with being flexible and being like, oh, I need $5 from this category, but I really try not to do that. I really try to stick within the budget I give myself. So anyways, I give myself $30 for takeout. I budgeted $10 for coffee, so I can give myself a little treat in the 2 weeks, which lately I've been really enjoying the chocolate cold brew, cold foam protein thingy, whatever, from Starbucks, which those drinks are $6+, $7+. So that's usually one coffee. Then I'm saving up for my 6-month premium. So what I do is I look at guesstimating like what I paid in the last premium, and I split it up. Okay, I'm going to get paid this many times in the 6 months, which would be 13-week paychecks. So then I split it up and I figure out a dollar amount that would get me to that goal. And then I have an annuals binder, so 25 is going there. Moving expenses, 25. I'll explain that in the cash stuffing. Wedding, I budgeted $150. 100 envelope, I budgeted $40. This goes along with my goal of my emergency fund, which I didn't write that in my January goal, but I figured if I do 40 every paycheck, that will get me to slightly above 1,000. One of my goals was to save between 1,000 and 2,000 in 2026. Then I have money for myself. I budgeted slowly, starting to put toward gas, my grocery, buffer. Household, I try to do 50 every paycheck, and these are for consumables. So that's anything from like household products to like cleaning products to toiletries like soaps and shampoos and all the things. So I budgeted for my cats, slowly doing cart maintenance. Like if it's not a huge deal or something that I need immediately, like if it's a fund that I'm slowly building, I'll do like 5, 10, like small amounts. Gifts, Joe's birthday's coming up, so I did 20. Then kitty emergency is the general category name, 20, but really I'm trying to save up to get my cat so she can get a dental cleaning. Those are very expensive. And then special occasions, which technically special occasions can be eating out sometimes. Joe and I were going to celebrate my promotion, and I was going to pay for him and I to go to Cheesecake Factory. So I'm building up that fund, but that's kind of what I do is, I use my planner and I get a visual on when bills are. And then when I get paid, I prioritize the bills that need to come out in that paycheck. And then I budget for things that I need now and things that I need in the future. So stay tuned. In the future, I will be doing actual videos of like setting up my planner. So if I don't delete the footage, you'll see a February planning video in the future. And I'd like to also do a wrap up too, and seeing if I've met my goals that I've set for the previous month. So I thought that could be fun to look at together. But go ahead and subscribe if you're interested in seeing this series. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. If you're still here, leave me a little pen emoji or some sort of office supply, if that's even an emoji, like a book or something, that lets me know that you stayed all the way till the end, and I greatly appreciate you. Until the next one, bye.